Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. This is an altcoin of the day video, and for today, we are going to be taking a look at the altcoin known as Jasmy. This is available on Coinbase. I do reviews for all of the cryptocurrencies available on Robinhood, as well as the top 10 by market cap available on Coinbase. If there's any outside of that top 10 that you would like for me to take a brief technical analysis look at that is available on Coinbase, please comment that below. So Jasmy has been making a big move up lately, and it just keeps going. This measured move, let's try to make it as accurate as we can be, will go on the daily. But from this base here, the last good time to buy, we'll just go in the center there, why not? We have had a 470% move from the bottom to the top. So you could have made close to a 5x around there. It is at 1.6 cents, and you could have got it for around a third of a cent. So this has been going up very fast. Some people maybe were able to get some Jasmy for about half a penny in here before it went up. So something to keep in mind, because I see a lot of videos promoting cryptos that you can get for under a penny. And they describe these cryptos as if they are cheaper because of the price. Something to keep in mind with the price is that it doesn't matter if it's at a penny or if it's near a dollar, $3, $3,000. What matters is the market cap. So many people who make videos miss out on the market cap factor. So if you take a look at Ethereum, yes, it is near 3,000 overall. That is the number 3,000. But what we are really basing this off of is the market cap of 354 billion. So if you want your investment of $1,000 right now to become $10,000, then not only would you believe that a $3,000 Ethereum could go to 30,000, but you would believe that its market cap would do a 10x to 3.5 trillion. So for Jasmy, even though it is worth about a penny and a half, its market cap, let me just verify this on CoinMarketCap, is around 800 million. Right now it's a little bit under 800 million. So if you were to put $1,000 on Jasmy today, again, just consider the price right here for what you will. If you were to put in $1,000 and you want it to be worth 10,000, then you believe its market cap could be 7.8 billion, or let's just round it up and say close to 8 billion. And yes, this would be worth 16 cents per Jasmy. But again, it's more the market cap we're concerned of, because some people are saying that Jasmy is going to go to $50, which is ridiculous, because if Jasmy were to go to $50, it would have something like a 2.5 trillion market cap. We know that's not going to happen because, well, you can just take a look at some of the top assets there are in the world. If Jasmy were to go to $50, you're saying it's going to have a market cap equal with something or close to something like Microsoft or Apple, and even surpass Nvidia. So that's not going to happen. Fight me if you don't believe it. So what are some realistic price targets for Jasmy? Well, if we zoom way out, you can see that when Jasmy came out, it was worth about 20 cents over here. So again, that market cap would have been, from where we are right now, it would have been about 10 times higher, at least back here. It's been selling off ever since its inception, formed this big long base for a while. We haven't been at these prices since May of 2022, so that's promising. Let's take a look at where Bitcoin was in May of 2022. So if we zoom out on Bitcoin, that's Bitcoin dominance. If we zoom out on Bitcoin, yes, I know there's a lot going on here. Let's get rid of our indicator. May of 22, we were already getting into our sell-off, and something you'll notice right here, this base we've formed for support after going to all-time highs And this was truly the time to sell altcoins and Bitcoin in here. Maybe a last chance for Bitcoin, not really for altcoins. But May of 22, we were going under this level of support that we created when we created an all-time high after the double peak. Once we went below that, we went deep into bear market territory in here. So the fact that Jasmy has gone to that level that we have not seen since that time, that support level that we broke through going into the Bitcoin bear market for Coinbase, I would say overall that's bullish, that maybe this is just the beginning for Jasmy. How high could this go? Who knows? I'll tell you that right there. Who knows? I think at absolute best, this next bull run, even if we are to be very, very bullish, I would think that at absolute best, maybe you could hope for something like $2, $3. So let's math that out. And you're going to have to trust me on this. I'm doing this on my calculator on my phone right now. So you can take 2.00 divided by 0.016. We'll do the full thing, 463. So that would be 121.5 times higher if you believe it could go to $2. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm saying at the absolute best. And the reason I'm considering it getting up there is, well, partly because I've been through two Bitcoin bull markets. I got in 2017. I've seen coins do 100 to 100x. Again, I got in on Tron when it was a fifth of a penny. And so I know how much crypto can do when you get in the early phases. I'm not saying Jasmy is going to be one of those rare coins. However, if it was, I could see that being the absolute best scenario. I'll give a conservative idea here in a little bit. But having been through here, if you do catch one of those altcoins early, it is possible you could see some big gains. Even at the absolute worst from where it is right now, let's say we get another 4-year cycle and we peak sometime later in 2025 and Bitcoin goes to, let's just say 170K. If Bitcoin goes to 170K, I would be shocked if Jasmy by that time didn't do at the bare minimum a 5 to a 10x. Now that's taking the 4-year cycle for granted a little bit. So you believe that Bitcoin is going to have another 4-year cycle. I don't think that Jasmy is the worst play to have, especially because some people, they call it the Bitcoin of Japan. Utility, all that stuff, take from that what you will. Until I'm using these cryptos with some real use case, some tangible use case, this is going to trigger some people, but until then, really all these cryptos are kind of just shit coins to me. I know that's going to trigger some people, but the only place, I'm going to keep saying this, the only place I've seen any tangible utility for crypto are Bitcoin exchange machines that I've only seen myself in third world countries and in the not so good parts of major cities. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not trying to hate. I think that crypto does have a lot of forward potential, some promising potential. But again, it is so early that it's kind of like throwing darts at a dartboard. Some are going to hit, some are going to miss. So going back, if we believe Jasmy were to go to $2 and do 121x from here, well, what that would mean then is that would be 121 times higher of a market cap of 782.3 million. And that would put Jasmy at around $95 billion. So let's just say 100 billion. Could Jasmy get to 100 billion? I don't feel so strong about that. However, something to consider is if Jasmy did become one of the top altcoins, say maybe it'll do something like Doge. Well, Doge, the last bull run, was able to get near 100 billion. So if Jasmy is to pull off a Doge, again, I'm not saying this will happen or that it's likely to happen. I'm saying best case scenario. Then maybe, just maybe, Jasmy could get somewhere around $2. That's my best case scenario. Worst case scenario, should Bitcoin have another 4-year cycle and get to somewhere around 170, 180,000 by the end of 2025, then I think Jasmy would be, I feel strongly about saying that my guess would be it could easily do a 5 or 10x. It, having been through a couple of these 4-year cycles, I would feel more strongly and confident about it doing a 20x. Now, again, this isn't financial advice. I am guaranteeing nothing. We don't know if any variables, black swan events are going to change everything and disrupt this 4-year cycle phenomena. And again, we only have 3-4 data points. And so even if one of these were to go wrong, if this wasn't going to turn out into a 4-year cycle, then that data point, that's huge. That's 20% of the overall data points that we've had. So you could say, well, 80% of the time we have a 4-year cycle if nothing were to happen in here. Again, we don't know if there's going to be a big recession or crash. However, if you have money that you are willing to set aside that you can afford to use to put into Jasmy, then if it were to do a 20x from here, then we could see Jasmy having a market cap of close to 16 billion. So 16 billion. And again, if you just did 20 times 15 here, you would be looking for Jasmy around 30 to 32 cents. I think that would be a pretty good average. So best case scenario, I would say $2 for Jasmy. Should we get a very strong 4-year cycle and this turns out to be a top 20 crypto, again, absolute best case scenario. Average case scenario from what I've seen the last 2 bull runs, maybe we're looking at a 20x from here, something like a 30 to 32 cent Jasmy. And conservative scenario, if Bitcoin were to maybe only get to 100,000. Now its previous all-time high was 69,000 or close to that. Let's say Bitcoin gets to 100,000, then maybe Jasmy only does at worst a 5 to 10x from here and goes up to something like 8 cents or 16x. So we have 2 years to see how this plays out. It'll be interesting to see how high Jasmy goes. Would I be buying Jasmy right now at this moment? I would not. Even with those strong predictions I just made, I would not, because after we had a weekly buy signal here, this is one of my front running indicators, you can see that we've already moved up 230%. If you are buying now, you are chasing. I would say it is very likely that we would be more likely to see some pullbacks. Me personally, I don't buy on these candles. I like when we get a weekly or even a monthly buy signal. So monthly, if you're willing to be very patient, you would have had 3 great opportunities to buy. Weekly, take a look at this. Since we got to the bottom, you could have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 opportunities to buy Jasmy. And I was able to personally get in on 2 of these opportunities within this range. So not saying that to brag. However, when I do buy, I am looking for these buy signals. I like the accumulation. I didn't put a ton of money into Jasmy, but enough money that I'm obviously happy with what it's doing now. So if we go down some time frames, this is on the daily. We're still moving up strong. This is on the 2 hour. We're still moving up strong. This is on the 1 hour. Okay, you can see we peaked here. We're coming back up to test it, probably to move up even stronger. 30-minute. I mean, this is still looking very strong. Maybe you could say that here we have bearish divergence forming because we're getting lower in the RSI, higher in the price. So I'll give you that. If we go to the last 5 days, I mean, look at that. That's crazy. It's just blasting on through there. A lot of structure here, more than other areas around this 1.18 cent range. You could say 1.2. So should Jasmy go even higher to something like 2 cents and then have a big capitulation moment, I would look for it to settle around this 1.2 cent range. Actually, let's just play with that. Let's zoom out here and we'll just move the fib up. Let's move the fib up to something around 2 cents. I'll get it as close as I can. That's pretty dang close. So if we got up here, where was that 1.2 cent range? That would be right here around the 0.5 fib. Maybe even a little bit higher than that. So yeah, sometimes I'll take a fib, I'll move it higher, and I'll see where some of these supports are, the 618, the 0.5 especially, because for something to stay bullish, I like for it to stay above there. So even if it were to move higher, let's put the 618 up there, like right at the top of the body, not the wick. So even if it was to go up to, let's say 2.5 cents, then it could still come down to this 1.1, 1.2 cent range, somewhere in here between the 618.5. So maybe just in the short time frames, 2 to 2.5 cents would be my target, but I would expect a decent amount of pullback. You can even take a look at this move right here. If we're to reset this timeline, of course, let's move this fib back down. So you can take a look at, actually, let's go to the 1 year. There we go. Let's move that down. Oh, I have to adjust the auto here. So something I watch for, even when we have these strong moves up, look at this, 200% from there. A lot of times moves like to go back up to 50%. So how far, yep, very close to 50%. So again, it seems that we have a lot of structure around this 1.2, 1.1 cent range. So I would be eyeing something around 2 to 2.5 cents, and then a drawback to somewhere around this level, just because how much structure was made right there. So anyways, that's just my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if there's any altcoins outside the top 10 by market cap on Coinbase that you'd like for me to cover, please comment those below. Let me know what you think about Jasmy, short-term, long-term. Do you agree or disagree with my price targets, or is there one that you like more than the other? Again, $2 would be absolute best case scenario. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if it were to have a Doge-style run, then yeah, I could see it for Jasmy. I think a 20x from here in an average 4-year cycle would be possible should Bitcoin get to somewhere around 170, 180,000 by the middle end of next year. And at the very worst, even if we had a big recession and then were to come back up, then something like a 5 to 10x, a 8 cent to 16 cent Jasmy. At the very worst, long term would be my expectation. So hope you guys enjoyed and that you're having a wonderful Wednesday. And again, if there's any cryptos or stocks you'd like for me to take a look at, comment below. Take care. Bye-bye.